Welcome viewers, welcome to ITV Gold Tax Tips. My name is Ajay Kumar. I'm an accountant, a CPA at Science CPA Services. Today we'll talk about foreign people trying to start a business in US. What's the process? What's the obligation? What's the liability? How do you go about it? Good news is, yes, you have the right to start a business in US even if you have no US connection. You have no social security number, no green card, no citizenship, you have never been to US. You can still open a company in US. Let's take a step back first. Let's see what are the benefits of having a company in US. A lot of people are selling from India on eBay, on Amazon. Having a company in US will allow you to open a bank account in US. Having a company in US will make your structure look global. Having a company in US will make you international. It gives you more branding. It gives you more legitimacy. It makes your company grow faster. A lot of people in US do not want to do business with foreigners. If they find out that the shipment is happening from, say, China or India, a lot of people don't want to deal with it. They don't know where to chase you. But if they find out that you have a local US company, now the situation is different. Now they are happy to work with you. So having a company in US is a great idea. The key here is you have to know the process. A lot of people don't even know that they can have a company in this country, in US. A lot of people assume actually that they have to have a social security number or they have to have a green card or citizenship to open the company. You have the right to open the company even if you have absolutely no connection with US. Let's take a step back. Let's consider what are the situations. What are the typical situations we have? When do you need a company? So what we have seen, there are three main situations when you can use a company in US. The first situation potentially could be you have an office in India. Let's say, for example, search engine optimization, SEO, where all the selling is happening from India, all the delivery, all the work is actually happening in India. That's one situation. The second situation is where the sales office is in US. Let's say you have an IT consulting company where the delivery is happening from India, but the sales office is in US. The third potential option could be, let's say you have artificial jewelry business or a handicraft business where the delivery is happening from US and the sales are happening from US, where you have to have a warehouse or you have to have certain structure in US. So there are three phases to this equation. First, the delivery and the sales happens from India. Second, the sales happens from US but the delivery happens from India. And the third, where the delivery and the sales happens from US. The requirements are going to be slightly different for each type of situation, but you have to know what the requirements are and where to go about it. How do you go about it? At a high level, US government allows you 5 different type of US structures, the company structures. Not all of these structures will allow foreign ownership. So right from proprietorship, partnership, LLC, S Corp and C Corp. We have 5 structures that are allowed in this country when it comes to business formation. Only LLC and C Corp are the 2 structures that are allowed for a foreign ownership. In LLC, limited liability company we call it, or a C corporation, not the S corporation, not the small corporation, but for C corporation, government allows 100% foreign ownership. Now, before we go further, let's look at the pros and cons of LLC versus C corporation. Let's see what are the benefits of each type and what are the obligations of each type of entity. So you can decide if LLC makes sense for you or C corp makes sense for you. So C corp is a structure where the company files its own taxes and pays its own taxes. The C corp has flat tax rate of 21%. The owners, the shareholders of the C corporations have no filing obligation in US. So if you are in a situation when you are not sure if you want to be coming here or if you don't want additional filing obligations in this country, C corp is the way to go. You can have a C corp, a large corporation. You start working under the C corp. Whatever the profits you make, you can pay taxes to the government. And take a step back. And we get this question all the time. Let's say if your total revenues are $100, how much tax you have to pay? Well, hold on. The taxes are calculated based on profit, not on revenue. Now, Who is to decide the cost of goods sold? You can use the transfer pricing. $100 is the revenue and $99 is the cost of goods sold because the services are provided in India. You are the one who is providing the service. You are the one who is controlling what the rate you have to charge. So you have certain leverage over there, certain room over there to decide how much profit is going to be there. You can use the transfer pricing study to move cost of goods sold to India. So you can move $99 as cost of goods sold. $1 is the net profit over here. On $1 we'll charge, okay, give me 21 cents. That's the way it works on a C corporation. On LLC, LLC is considered as a flow-through entity. You have the filing obligation of your personal taxes as well when you look at the LLC. So in situations when you already have a nexus in US, when you already have a connection in US, only then we prefer LLC. In most cases, if you're trying to start a new idea, you don't know where you're going, you prefer the C corporation. And one more criteria that we have seen is the L1 visa. A lot of time people ask us, can I get certain visas? So if people could get visa by opening a company in US, everybody in this whole wide world will start a company, spend few $100s and get a US visa. This is not how it works. You have to have certain number of years of profitable history. The company is sponsoring the visa. The company must show that the company can afford to keep you here. So you have to have at least 2 years, if not 3 years of profitable history to have any sort of visa being sponsored through the company. So please don't assume that you can have a company in US and then tomorrow you can get the visa. But that being said, let's take the next step. Okay, fine. Now you have a US company. How much does it cost? And what are the ongoing obligations for you? What are the liabilities for you? What are the filing requirements for you when you have a company? So if you have a US company, let's say you got through the first hurdle, it can cost you as much as $1,000 depending on how you are going, which state you are going. And again, before I move on to the filing obligations after having the company, let me help you decide which state you want to open the company. A lot of people assumes Delaware is the way to go. A lot of people tell me Texas is the way to go just because there is no individual income tax. But we are not talking about individual income tax here. We are talking about a corporation over here. You want to start a business in the state where you already have an access. Let's say, for example, if you have a warehouse that you want to use, and the warehouse is, let's say, in New Jersey. If you were to open a company in Delaware, then going forward, you will have filing obligations in Delaware as well as in New Jersey. On the other hand, if you were to open a company in New Jersey, you don't have the filing obligation in Delaware. So you want to find a state where you already have an existing nexus, where you can find the agent service. You have to have an address in one of the state to start the business. A lot of accountants, a lot of CPAs, a lot of online business formation services will be happy to provide you the address, the agent service. But please take a minute, take a moment to think it through which state you want to go with. Don't just go with Delaware. Delaware is okay when you are thinking about Chapter 7, bankruptcy liquidation. Delaware is not the cheapest state to do business in when it comes to the taxes. But moving on, let's think about the filing obligations that you have when you have a company. Depending on the type of company you have, C Corp or LLC that we talked about, these are the two companies that allows the foreign partnership, foreign ownership. So in a C corporation, you will have the annual tax filing requirement. In an LLC, you will have the annual franchise filing requirement. So forget about the LLC or C Corp for a second. You have an annual filing requirement. It's called a tax filing requirement or the franchise report filing requirement. There is an income tax filing requirement for each of the company at the end of the year. Depending on if you have an LLC or C Corp, it could be 21% taxed at the net profit, not on the revenue, on the net profit. The second obligation that you have is state annual report filing or franchise report filing. So there are two different filing requirements. The income tax filing requirement is different than the franchisee or the annual filing requirement. The franchise report filing is more of a license renewal with the state, wherever you open the company or whichever states you open the company. If you can have in more than one state, depending on how your business is going, all those states will require you to do some sort of franchisee or annual report filing. with some fees, more of a licensing fees. Then the second requirement is the income tax filing requirement. And a lot of people ask me, how much is the income tax? I say, how much is the income? So income tax filing requirement depends on the income, the net profit you have. And based on the net profit, a C Corp has flat 21% tax structure, and the LLC will have several income tax brackets to it. So again, it's okay, it's acceptable to have a company owned 100% by a foreigner. You do not need to have a social security number. You do not need to have a green card or US citizenship to open the company. A lot of banks, when it comes to bank, let's take 10 seconds to talk about what type of bank will allow you to open the account. Not all the banks will allow you to open the bank account, especially when you have 100% foreign owned company. If you go to the top tier bank, the Bank of America, Chase, TD, Wells Fargo, they will not allow you to open the bank account if you have 100% foreign owned company. You have to go with the second tier bank, Mercury Bank, Republic Bank, Bank of Silicon Valley. These are the second tier banks. They're good banks. They're all FDIC insured. They're all federally insured. But these banks will care about your account. These banks are not that large banks. They will still take the foreign owned accounts. Not all the banks do. So just be careful which bank you use. You have to know depending on which area. Say Silicon Valley Bank is more popular, have more branches in West Coast, as opposed to Mercury Bank, they have very few branches. So you have to know what your business is, how many branches you need, if you really need any branch. If you're operating the business online or from India, you probably don't care about the number of branches. But again, you have to think the process through. If there are any questions, please email to us. You have the right to grow the business. One thing I tell all my foreign clients, you wouldn't know what could have been done if you don't give it a try. So for all questions, please write back to us. Again, my name is Ajay Kumar. I'm an accountant, a CPA. This is ITV Gold Tax Tips. Stay tuned. We have a lot of information for you. Thank you.